Sunday, you know what that means. It is another episode of Unturned Pages. We are back. We have a returning guest this week. But before we hop into that, how are you, Alicia?
I'm doing good. Just did a little yard work out front today, but I had today off, so I took that time and I slept in for once because I had no appointments or anything, and I'm always busy, so
Right,
it was enjoyable for sure, needed.
right. As I'm sitting here with my knee propped up and icing because I probably tore my meniscus.
You put
Fundy.
icing on your knee.
I'm
Who-
icing my knee.
Who's gonna lick off the icing?
I don't know. The dog? Before we hop into our guests, we want to thank our sponsors, Small Town Productions, so Larry Eisler. He also has the Black Lantern Company, which is a 3D printing company. Check it out. We have Breaking Fate Entertainment, Willie Atkins. We have Reaper Paranormal out of Minnesota. We have Obscura Paracon, which will be held in March of 2027 in DeKalb, Illinois. We have Riches and Wellness and Dark Arts and Oddities, all three held in DeKalb, Illinois throughout the year. Obscura is the Paracon, Riches and Wellness is the more richy, pagan, metaphysical event. And then Dark Arts and Oddities is, of course, the dark art, creepy type of stuff. But we also try to throw some of the metaphysical in there as well, and the paranormal. It is like the bridge, the is the bridge of all three, basically. So super excited for that. If you are in Indiana Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Friday and Saturday, ISS Con 5 is Saturday at Billy Creek Village. It is free admission. Come out. I will be a vendor. Um, it is at Billy Creek Village in Rockville, Illinois, in Indiana. There'll be vendors. There'll be raffles. Some guests like Steve and uh can't remember his name now. Haunted Knights, and a bunch of other great, amazing people. It is an Adam Kimmel event, so please come out and support the vendors and the speakers. They are amazing. Again, that is at Billy Creek this coming Saturday on the 29th. And if there's still tickets for Friday night and Saturday night activities, which gets you access to both Billy Creek and Indiana State Sanitarium. You do free reign investigating. You can hang out, chill, just after the bonfire. There's food, drinks, fun, cornhole, all that fun stuff. So if you're in the area, come to see me on Saturday, August 29th. I will be in crutches. I will be in a knee brace, but I will be there. October 9th through the 11th, if you are in Illinois around the Rockford area, come out to the 2026 Illinois Paranormal Convention. Chris Fleming will be there, Larry Eisler, Chad Lewis, Jesse Hawthorne, and a bunch of other amazing people will be there. And then, of course, November 14th and 15th is the Dark Arts and Oddities Con in DeKalb, Illinois. All of Unturned Pages will be there, helping and running that event. Super excited. And then we got some big announcements coming for that this week, including an after hours ghost hunt. I'm super excited. And then Obscura Paracon coming March 20th and 21st, 2027. All held, both held in DeKalb, Illinois, at the Orchard Hall in on the university campus. Super excited for that. Let's see here. Next slide. Oh, we're not going back into that yet. So our guest tonight is a returning guest. It is Jenny Seabell. We had her on a few months ago to talk about crystals and magic. But tonight we are going to dive into her newest book, Divergent Witchcraft, an exclusive approach to making magic. Oh my God, I can't talk today. But you guys probably all remember her. She is amazing. She is an author, a witch, a creator. She has created some decks. She's written books. She has her own coven. So let's dive into magic and all fun pagan witchy stuff tonight, which me and Alicia love to talk about. So let's bring her up here. Hello, hello.
Hi, thank you for having me back.
We're so happy to have you back because we've been talking about having you back, and then you emailed me. I was like, yes, I want you back on.
Yeah, last time Alicia wasn't there, so nice to meet you, Alicia.
Yes, nice to meet you.
Yes. So, Jenny, for people who don't remember or didn't watch the last episode, give us a little bio of yourself and how you got into the witchcraft community.
Okay, yeah. My name is Jenny Seabell, and I have been a witch for over 3 decades. So I started at the age of 13, and I'm older than that now. And that's as good as we're going to get on that. I have 2 books right now. I have Spirit Crystals, which we talked about last time. And now I have Divergent Witchcraft, which is my newest book, which basically is kind of like a really good beginner's guide to witchcraft. And with the idea, if you're neurodivergent, there are some accommodations and some things that are done a little differently than in other books. I have a coven, like you said, it's the Our Coven community. I host my own podcast called Cozy Coven Chats. And I co-host a podcast with Granddaughter Crow, Belief Being and Beyond. That's here on YouTube and other places. And then sometimes I'm a guest on Patty Negri's Movie Coven, where we just talk about movies, and sometimes we're totally off topic, but it's fun.
I've watched a few of those episodes. Yes, that's a fun podcast for sure. Patty's amazing. I love her.
Yes, she's like an icon.
Right.
How often is your podcast, the Cozy Coven Chat podcast?
Yeah, so it's usually like weekly, but because I'm a mom and summer recording is like so hard. I did monthly for the summer. So starting in September, they'll go back to weekly because that's when everyone goes back to school. So
I understand that way too well. My kids are finally back in school, so
I'm ready for River to go back to school. Like, yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah.
I'm definitely ready for her to go back to school and get out of the house for a while.
Yeah.
Yes. Awesome. Hold on 1 second. I'm putting your
So what time is your podcast?
Oh, I usually put my podcast out on Sundays, like at midnight. But Belief Being and Beyond is Saturdays, and we do like a live chat on that. And that's fun because it's like, you know how it is. You get to like interview or talk to people that maybe you've like kind of internet stalked or admired for a while. And then you're like, oh, you're like actually like a real person and you're actually kind of nice. And so that's fun.
Right. And yeah, definitely like meeting and talking with people that you've like read their books and seen them on Facebook and everything. It's totally different than just watching them on Facebook and interacting via that. But yeah, definitely. So you said non-divergent. How would you describe that for someone who doesn't know what that typically means?
Yeah, thank you for asking that. So it's a like more of a psychological or scientific term, and it means that your brain works differently, and it can encompass things like ADHD, autism, OCD, dyslexia, anxiety, bipolar disorder, highly sensitive people. It's actually encompasses, I think, more people than not.
Right. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Like my daughter's autistic, ADHD, sensory processing, anxiety, all of that mixed together. So I totally get that. Like, and me and her dad are somewhat like that too. So I think a lot of people fit in that broad umbrella, and they don't realize it. Like,
yeah, I feel like a lot of people don't really know that they have like say anxiety, you know.
Yeah. I think I mean, I was a school teacher for a really long time. And so at that time it was a little different, like the way that it was categorized. If it was more quote severe, then they would get like the special education label, and I taught that as well. But now, like, it seems like we just know or understand more, or more people are becoming aware, I guess, through like social media too. Like, you know, like I never got diagnosed. I was diagnosed with dyscalculia, which is where you mix up numbers, but
Oh.
nothing else as a kid, even though like I was so anxious and definitely like spacing out all the time. I met all the markers, but because I was a girl and I was quiet, no one said
Yep.
anything.
Yeah, it took me 4 years, almost 4.5, 5 years to get my daughter to be diagnosed with autism, because her ADHD was so bad, it was masking the autistic aspect. And the doctor who did the testing was like, girls often don't get diagnosed as soon as the boys because the the triggers and the identifiers are so different between boys and girls. So it took a lot of testing and a lot of time to get her diagnosed, but we finally did. And boy, once you have that diagnosis, it can help so much getting the services the kids need or even the adults need, um, to better and understand what's going in their minds. Like River, she's almost 9 now, and she's just realizing that she's not like the other kids in her class. And um, we have her teachers and I always have to have that discussion. Like, your brain's wired a little differently. Things will come when it comes. It's not like this autism is a bad thing. It just makes you special.
Yeah, it's just different.
Yes.
And I think like I love our like the new generation of parenting that's like doing that, like just saying it's just like a superpower, it's just different.
Yep.
It's so different than when I was a kid. Like people use the R word, and it was like scary to get a diagnosis because you didn't want to be in the other class. Everyone knew, all the kids were like, oh, you're in that class, you know.
Yep.
So different
Yeah.
world.
Yeah, definitely. When I was in school, I was in the special math and special reading, and like you said, kids looked at you differently because you were in that class, and that was their normal kids. You were always with the other classes, getting their special help. Um, Derek asks, "Do you think putting a spell on someone out of really relatation? Oh my god, I can't talk tonight.
Retaliation.
Or get at them, does that come back in a negative way on the person doing that spell?"
I think that's totally up to you and your belief system. You know, some witches believe in karma, which is not witchcraft, right? That's like
Right.
another form of spirituality. And so some witches really believe in that. And if they do, then they're going to tell you absolutely it comes back to you. A lot of more modern witches take the approach of, you know, it's kind of up to like you and your path. So if you want to do something, there's alternatives, right? So if you, instead of like hexing someone or cursing someone, there's things where you could like put their name in the freezer, which
Oh
is
yeah.
like
Yep.
a form of, you know, some people might say like, you know, kind of a hexing or cursing, but it's very mild. And so there's like levels to what you do. And so it kind of depends on like your comfort zone, what you feel good about, like with your own self. Like, do I feel comfortable? Like, is this, you know, like, do I feel like this is the right reaction? Because really, like hexing, cursing, and stuff is a form of self-protection. It's a form of
It
boundaries.
is. Yep.
And so it's kind of like your perspective. So I personally like, I say live and let live, and like you do what feels good for your practice. But yeah, not everybody feels that way.
Right.
And then I feel like sometimes, things happen in life, whether it's the person that did the hacks or the curse or whatnot, and then say one of the family members says, "Oh, this is because of what you did," like somebody getting sick, like sickness. It just people get sick all the time, like so it's not always because it's rebounding or whatnot, life is life.
Exactly. And if you do a lot of self-protection and protecting your own self, you're warding your house, you're protecting your own energy, and you're doing all those things and those precautions, and things aren't going to like bounce back. That's kind of like this old idea of like the threefold law. Like anything you do comes back to you 3 times. And most witches have gone away with that. Like, I don't know many people that believe in that anymore.
Right. So going back to your new book, how does this book fit in with like the witchcraft and the metaphysical realm? Like for someone who just, let's say they're at Barnes Noble and picks it up, what can they expect or read in that book?
Yeah, so it's definitely good for beginners. So if you're someone that's like been interested in witchcraft but have found other books not really, like, a lot of books just kind of assume that you know certain things.
Mm-hmm.
And this book assumes you don't know anything. And so it takes you through, like, what is meditation? Why do we meditate? What is journaling? What's a book of shadows? How do you write a spell? How do you create a spell? And how do they work and why? Like, what does it mean to work with stones or animals or plants? It really answers a lot of those questions that like new witches have, but never get answered. Like they just, like, these books think like, oh, everybody already knows that,
Right.
but they don't. And so it answers a lot of those questions.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Oh,
And that's what I liked about it. Was it was like very like beginner based, like answers like the basic questions, but also in a way that people who are on the spectrum or neurodivergent can actually understand.
so people out there that think that witchcraft is evil and witches are bad, you just outlined some stuff that people would say, what, that's witchcraft?
Right.
What do you tell somebody who says that witches are bad, witches are evil?
I think, it's in the culture. So we are going against the grain. I could call myself something else. Most of us could. We can call ourselves like a healer or spiritual person or this or that. I use the word witch as kind of like a reclaiming, but it definitely has a negative connotation because of years and years of like fairy tales and movies and television
Right.
shows and news. And so, it's in the culture to go, okay, and it's not just American, right? Because you have like in like Mexican culture, for instance, you have like a brujeria, which is like witchcraft, and then you have like I'm not the best at Spanish, but curandera, which is like a healer. But they do similar things, but like a lot of times the society reveres the healer and they kind of like fear the witch. And so I think it really comes down to perspective. And so I'm never here to be like, arguing it for the sake of witchcraft. It's not for everybody, and I'm okay with that. Do I think that what I do is evil? Absolutely not, but that's my perspective.
Right.
And that's kind of my practice. I kind of consider myself like a modern witch. And so there's like, I combined things like meditation and journaling. And there's like an aspect of self help to what I do and healing. That isn't what every witch does, but that's like my style.
Mm-hmm.
So I see that you mentioned like animals in witchcraft and like nature, like water, earth, air, fire, stuff like that. Um, do you feel like witchcraft and spirituality kind of combine with each other?
Yeah, I feel like they intersect, occultism, spirituality, and witchcraft are like 3 branches of kind of alternative spiritual practices outside of like the Abrahamic religions of Christianity, Islam, and like
Yeah.
Judaism. And so, like, there's a lot of crossover. I myself have had a lot of experience with other things. So, when I was writing the book, I was like, I can't just write straight like witchcraft because it really is hard to even say what is that anymore based off of
Right.
like society and everybody's borrowing and social media, everyone's sharing. And so, yeah, I think it's all like very interrelated. And people do definitely get offended. Like if you call like a new agey person like a witch, like I'm not a witch, right?
Right.
Well, I feel like, and some witches will get offended and be like, "Oh, it's kind of new agey." Like, no, it's not. I
Right.
personally kind of see it all kind of meshing, but that's not everybody agrees. So
Right. So, what would you say, like, um, say the hardest thing is for a neurodivergent practitioner? I know for like me, meditation's like super hard. Like my ADHD would be nope, can't do it, can't focus on one little thing like meditation. So, what would you say the hardest thing is for a not neurodivergent practitioner?
Yeah, I say definitely meditation. The other one is being overwhelmed or avoiding being overwhelmed. So I have a chapter on meditation. That chapter really focuses on like accommodations and alternatives to meditation, right? So, like, instead of just the sitting still and being quiet, like, let's go for a walk and look at nature. Let's color. Let's do a collage. Let's, do some kind of exercise, but like meditatively. Let's, do beadwork meditatively. Let's cross the stitch. Like, there's ways to do meditative things without being like sitting still and whatever. Because a lot of people, even if their mind isn't busy, their bodies ache. And it's really hard for people to be in a still position. Yeah, like we're not thinking about, like, a lot of people don't take into account like chronic illness and chronic pain, and that's really hard to keep in like that cross-legged position. Like, some people just can't physically do that. So I think that's really hard. And then overcoming overwhelm. A lot of new witches will tell me like, I feel so overwhelmed because there's like so much information. And a lot of it conflicts, and they don't know where to start. They don't know what's true. They don't know if they're going to
Right.
summon something they shouldn't. They get scared. It's like,
Yep.
and so it's overwhelming.
Yeah, it absolutely is. I totally agree. Um, I know, like me, like coloring, like when I had my hand surgery, when I had my one hand up the whole time, I was coloring with my other hand just to try to like get my mind off the pain and like focus on something. Because me, I am not the one that sits on the couch and does nothing. I like to be moving. I like to do things so my brain doesn't keep going. But with me being like forbidden onto the couch for 2 weeks, I was like, this is not good. This is not me. This is not what I do. But like you said, coloring and like doing things that kind of like doesn't involve you sitting crisscross and focusing on one thing, but doing other things that help you relax and get into that meditative state. I
Yeah.
totally agree with, yes.
So,
Okay.
okay, I was gonna ask for those people, trying to find out some type of technique for meditating while at work, like you can't get up and just leave, or maybe you can go to the bathroom or whatnot, just to get away. What are some meditation techniques that you can do where you can't necessarily go here or go there? You're confined to an area.
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think, the whole purpose of meditation is to bring you into the present moment and to make you feel like calm, right? That's why most people are turned to it. They're like, I'm stressed out, like I want to do something that helps lower my stress. So the goal is to get in your body. And so I think that simply, like, if you're just sneaking away for a moment, placing, like, if you can, one hand on your heart and like feeling your heartbeat, one hand on your belly, and then just taking deep breaths and then letting it out in a straw breath. So a straw breath is like you make your mouth like a straw. So you take a deep breath and then you go. And when you do that straw breath, it actually makes you do the exhale slower than you normally would. Even if you push as hard as you can, it's going to make that exhale slower. And when the exhale is slower than the inhale, immediately brings your parasympathetic nervous system like to the forefront, and it starts to go, oh, okay, we're relaxing. Another thing is when you're really stressed or anxious in a moment, is looking up at your ceiling, where the ceiling meets the wall, that line, and just like putting your eyes at that level and just like really looking around. It'll automatically de-escalate like the anxious or the stress of the moment. You'll start to like calm. I used to use that with students a lot, that had like a lot of anger issues. Be like, okay, we're gonna look up, we're gonna, because it just relaxes the body.
Definitely. I know Derek just asked a question. So, can you use healing spells and natural earth minerals for healing sickness and body pains? Do you have like a ingredient book for those type of things?
Yeah, that's a fun question. Spirit crystals, I talk more about crystals and using them for healing. In this book, I talk a little bit about working with plants and crystals, but not as in depth. But I am a Reiki master. And so some things that like I think about when someone's like, okay, how do we do healing? With especially with like people that live with chronic pain, it's like a mind thing.
Yep.
Like we could sit there and we can think about our pain 24/7
Oh yeah.
because it's there and it's present. And so for a lot of us, it's like about learning how to calm the mind and work on a kind of a level of acceptance with it, and then
Mhm.
taking those moments of deep breath or whatever to kind of work on healing. But I think the number one healing stone for pain is, like, I would say probably rose quartz, because it's a softening. And so
Yeah.
that's a nice one to keep like by your bed, like especially if you have trouble sleeping. And
Mhm.
then if you feel like I just need like a little extra healing, like put it on your heart space and like do some deep breaths. And like I would like to envision like whatever stone you're working with. And if you can, if you're a visual person or you can sense it, the color of that stone kind of like encasing your aura. So like the rose quartz is like in your aura, in your energy, and then asking that energy to heal you. And I think that's like something that people can do so easily at home.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I agree with the rose quartz as well as clear quartz and amethyst for
Yes,
sure. Yes.
those are
Wow.
some favorites. Yes.
Yep. Hold on. The cat just attacked me. I was moving my knee and it's like the cat all of a sudden went claws first. I'm like, oh my god, no.
They're trying to lick the icing off your knee.
That's fine.
Yeah, he is. He's probably like ice, water. But yeah, what was I just gonna ask? I saw that you were just at the Rayleigh House
Yes.
in California. How was your experience?
Okay, that was so fun. So it's always been like on my bucket list, right? So we did a
On my
family
bucket
trip. Yeah, we did a family trip to San Diego, and I have an 11-year-old and a 16-year-old. The 11-year-old was like, I don't really want to do that. So we did a day tour. That was the compromise. Like the night tour is a little more in depth. And he was like, no, but I'll do the day. I also conveniently left out that they had a doll collection right now.
Of course. Of
I
course they
told
do.
them, I was like, I'm not sharing that information. So it's pretty cool because it's in Old Town San Diego, which is like really busy. It's like a big tourist thing. And there's like an old cemetery. And then the Whaley House is just kind of in the middle of like these taco shops and like other shops
Right.
where you can
Yes,
buy
I've
stuff.
heard you.
Yeah, it's like so, but you go there and like the people are dressed in kind of like period pieces, and they do like a like with the day tours kind of cool because they give you like a little background, and then they just let you be on your own. So you can be there as long as you want, taking as many
Oh,
pictures
that's
as you want.
awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. And we all felt something like at the top of the stairs, there was a bedroom to the right. And like as soon as like we got there, I was like, oh, I feel something here for sure. And my son, he was like, I feel like sick to my stomach. I have a headache. And my daughter's heart was racing, like all signs of definitely something being there. And then we learned that both Mr. Whaley and his daughter like to haunt that area in particular. And so it
Oh
was kind
wow.
of like confirmation because they're still young and they're still like kind of like
Right.
learning. Yeah. But it was kind of fun because they were like a little freaked out by it all. And so right down the street is like this really nice church. And so I took them in there and I like got holy water and I was like, okay, you can like cleanse yourself and feel like all like whatever you picked up there is gone. And then we
Right.
had like a laugh and then we had tacos and it was fun.
I know. I saw
Yay,
your TikTok and I was
taco.
like, I'm so jealous. Like, I want to go. My friend went there early this year, and I'm like, her son, like, they were out in California, and he goes, "Oh, we're close to San Diego. Let's go to the Rayleigh House." And she's like, "You want to do something paranormal?" And she's like, he goes, "Yeah, I've been researching it for like the last year." And she calls me up. She goes, "Have you ever been to the Rayleigh House? Have you heard things about the Rayleigh House?" I'm like, "Yeah, it's one of the most haunted houses in America." Why? She goes, "Oh, we're doing a night tour." I'm like, "You paranormal? What?" And she goes, "Yeah, her, her, my son's making me go." I'm like, I kind of am very jealous at this point. And she goes, we have to go back and do an investigation according to him. I was like, I will bring all my toys.
Yeah.
Like, I will bring all the equipment and we will do it. And she's like, I will be out in the car. You two go have fun. I'm like, oh, I will. If I ever get out there, I will totally do that.
Yeah, there's a lot going on there because there was like several of the family members died, and then it was where the gallows were. So, I mean, it's like a lot going on. There's like definitely a feeling of unsettled people, like it's not settled. And then now they have this kind of ghost doll collection. They were all from the 1800s, and they
no.
were
I don't
yeah,
like haunted dolls. The dolls freak
no.
me out. Like, every
My
haunted
kids
location has dolls now. And I'm like, no, why?
Yeah,
Like,
my
I
kids,
don't
I
do
did not
dolls.
tell them because they were like anything but dolls. But they do know better. I'm like, just don't say no to not to say anything. Like you don't say anything
Yep.
negative about the dolls and whatever. So they just quietly like looked at them and moved on.
Yeah, it's like now every location we go to has like a doll room. I'm like, what is up with this doll concept? Like, not every doll is haunted. I'm sorry, but no. And the dolls they often get are the most creepy looking things in that you can find. Like, no, I'm good. No, put her back. Put her back. I'm not playing with dolls. But like the Bailey house isn't that far from Queen Mary either. Like
Yes, I've
that.
been there too.
Yep, I want to go there. Like I went to Winchester, the Winchester Mystery House, and Alcatraz in October, and that was so much fun. But we didn't get down to like down part of Chicago, California, because we landed in SFO, and then we went and spent a day at Alcatraz, and I did both the day tour and the night tour. And let's just say, night tour creeps you out. Like,
I
that
bet.
place at night is creepy as shit. And then we went up to Virginia City in Nevada and spent a few days. But I'm like, I want to go to Queen Mary. I want to go to the Bailey House. I want to do all the haunted things down that way. And then, of course, Disneyland's not that far. Hello, hello, hello. I want to go. But California has so many cool places that's haunted. Like the
Yeah.
Preston schools up in California, too.
Yeah, that's only about 5 hours from me. So we just watched The Devil's Backbone for Movie Coven. And then the producer was like, have you ever been here? Because it's not that far from you. And I was like, no, but that's on my list now. They do tours.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because I'm in Southern Oregon. So California, like Northern California is not far. But that looks like crazy. Like it's like so preserved in time that I definitely want to go there.
That's what I've heard. So when I come back to California and I get to California, I'll have to hit you up and be like, let's go to Preston Castle.
Right? It
Let's
seems,
do it.
I don't know. That seems like super fun.
We do a whole haunted weekend.
Speaking of Oregon, I know Halloween Town, the movie. Is that far from you where the set was? Because I knew they do like Halloween, like they do it all out and stuff every year.
Yeah, we're hoping to go this year because we haven't gone yet. So it's in a town called St. Helens, and it's where Halloween Town was filmed. And they take the pumpkin out for October, and then they usually have like some minor person from one of the movies. But like we're big fans, we watch all the movies every year. But also in that town, Twilight was filmed, and Bella's house is there.
Yes, and then you rent it out at the Airbnb.
Yeah, and then not too far from there is Astoria, which is where the Goonies was filmed. So like I want to do it all in like
you have the beach there too that both films were filmed at too.
Yeah,
that would be so much fun to do all that area.
Yeah, I want to do it. My friend did it with her kids. They hadn't even seen the Twilight movies, but she made them go to all the stops and take pictures of her. So
I'm pulling up a photo. Me and Alicia last weekend, was it last weekend or the weekend before, went to a Comic-Con. And I didn't realize until Alicia pointed it out to me that the mom from Halloween Town was there.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
She is super sweet. Like, she, unlike some other special guests there that weekend, actually would talk with you. Like, you could ask her what her favorite quote from the movie was and how it was to film with the person that played Morny and her mom and everything, and she's super sweet. Like,
And she looks so good for her age still.
I was gonna say she looks the same as like the last movie. Like,
right?
Yeah.
wow,
Yeah,
that's awesome.
I asked her, I'm like, what was the favorite one that you filmed? And she goes, definitely 1 and 2 with the original Marty,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kimberly, because they switched with the last 2 movies with a new actress, and I felt like the newer actress wasn't as good as Kimberly, but that was
Yeah.
just my opinion.
No, I
Like,
agree. I still watch them all every year,
oh yeah,
but
me too.
I agree with you.
Yeah. So yeah, I was like, when Alicia's like, the mom from Halloween Town's there, I'm like, oh, I need to get a picture with her. Like, she was one of the cheaper ones the whole weekend to get a picture with, which was
Wow.
my
I'm actually
favorite.
surprised because I feel like she's kind of a big deal.
Oh no, my big deal that weekend. Hold on, I can show you.
Okay. More
The
pictures.
person that I melted when I met was like, this is the only reason I went until I realized when I got there who was all there. The person that played Dean from Gilmore Girls
Yes.
and Sam from Supernatural or something. I don't watch Supernatural. I watch it from
The
Gilmore.
Gilmore Girls, everybody knows
Yes,
that. That's so good.
yes. He was the reason I went because it was funny because it was like a Sunday night, like last minute decision to go. Saw it on Facebook like Jared Padalecki will be in Chicago the following weekend, and photo ops is still available. I bought my tickets, bought my mom a ticket, and I'm like, hey mom, we're going to Chicago. She goes, what? I'm like, we're going to Chicago. And she goes, what? I'm like, the person who plays Dean will be there. And I bought me a photo op and tickets, and I bought you a photo op to go see William Shatner. And she goes,
Oh,
okay, that's
wow.
fine. And let's just say William Shatner, for being 95 years old, looks amazing for his age.
Yeah.
I
Like,
didn't know he was that old.
yeah, he's 95. Hold on, where's my
Wow.
picture? I have a picture with him. Um, he looks super good for his age. Where is it? I was really shocked on how good he looked. Like, I was like, dang, okay, he's 95, but okay, like, and I met like 2 of the people from Hocus Pocus there. I
Ooh.
was like, and I got bit by Carlisle Colin from Twilight.
Oh my
I
God.
was pretty happy. And then I met
Yeah.
Catherine Bell from The Good Witch. I was like, my weekend is made. Like,
Yeah.
hardcore made. Like, this weekend, I messaged Alicia because something happened with the photo ops on Saturday evening with us. And I had to go back Sunday to do other photo ops. And I'm like, now I got the bug. I want to do more of these Comic Cons. Like, you see all these people on TV, and you're like, I will never meet them. No big deal. And then you go meet them, and they're like totally like down to earth people.
Well, your picture with Dean was so cute. Like, it's like so cute the way it's posed. You know what I mean? Like,
Right? Like,
totally worth it for that
oh,
picture.
$185, totally worth it.
Totally. Yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, now I can want to do more of these because I met the person who played Kirk a couple of years ago in Minneapolis. And I'm like, now I want to meet Luke. I want to meet Chad, Michael Murray, and the person that plays Logan. Like, those are my goals now.
Heck yeah. I love that.
We totally went off topic, but that's okay.
Well, it's, I'm neurodivergent, so that's kind of
Right?
expected for me. So.
Right? That is how
Well,
I go. I'm not, yeah, I go off topic. What is
Me
your favorite, like, Halloween movie besides Halloween Town?
Ooh, that's a hard one. So with my kids, every year we watch Hocus Pocus, Hocus Pocus 2, and then all the
Yes.
Halloween towns.
Mm-hmm.
So I've probably seen those movies more than any other,
Right.
by far. So probably them. I don't know if you count Practical Magic as a Halloween movie.
I was
I
just
watch
gonna
it all the
ask
time,
about that.
and I love
Are
The
you?
Craft.
Oh, the craft's good too. Yes.
Yeah.
Are you excited for the Hocus? Not for Hocus Pocus. Wow, I got totally just Practical Magic too.
Yeah,
Are
I
you excited to
actually
see that?
we have kind of a small town, but we just had like a crystal shop open, and she's doing a special Practical Magic movie night, Practical Magic 2 movie night at our little theater. And
Oh yeah.
so there's like a costume contest, and she's giving us all goodie bags. So I just bought tickets for my daughter and I. I'm like, heck yeah, because like our town really loves Halloween and everyone always dresses up. So I'm thinking the costumes are going to be pretty good. So
Oh, I expect to see pictures of this because
That's so cool.
I expect some good costumes from you.
yeah, yeah. I just got, yes, I actually have a nice handmade witch's hat from an Etsy shop because I was like, you know what?
Ooh.
I'm going to invest in like a really nice one that I can wear forever. And so it's a
Right.
really, really pretty one that's not like from Spirit. So
I
Yeah,
bet it's super cute.
I bet you it is.
I bet like Franny's like hat she has, it's gonna be like that good.
Mhm. Yeah, I think so. It'll be good. I'm super excited to see Practical Magic too. Like, I want to see where it left off, like, and what happens. Like,
yeah,
is
I
it gonna
read,
be left open for a third movie? Like,
yeah,
is there gonna be a cliffhanger?
I hope so because I've read all the books, and I have to say that the movie is better than the book. But then the books, like the first, like there's like two prequels, and those are really good, and I would love to see those as movies. So, yeah, I don't know what they're gonna do because the movie ends very differently than the book, and so I'm like, I don't know what the second one's gonna actually be like because it can't actually follow the book all the way just because they ended differently. So,
Mhm.
I'm excited. I'm just here for it.
Are
So
you?
back to the book.
Yes, back to the good
Uh,
job, Alicia.
Alicia's like, we gotta get back on topic here.
yeah, I'll ring us in. I
We
was
just went
looking through
totally
the
off
book,
topic. It's okay.
and you had put in your book about like talking to your crystals or talking to like gardens and stuff. Like, what is the purpose for someone to do that? Like, what's the benefits of talking to your crystals and your plants or whatnot? And like, what can somebody like explain to somebody who's like, what, you talk to your plants? Like, what do you mean by that? And what is the benefit?
I love that. So I'm an animist, and not all witches are. So an animist or animism, basically the way I describe animism is like in Beauty and the Beast, how everything's alive in the castle. That's what an animist believes. Like we believe there's like a house spirit. I believe every tree and plant has a spirit. I believe every stone has a spirit. I do believe animals have spirits and souls. And so talking to each of them is like as a way to connect to the spirit there. And so, people have done like scientific things showing that, like, if you talk kindly to your plant, it flourishes. If you talk negative to your plant, it dies. Like, plants especially really pick up on vibrations. And stones do too. That's kind of like the whole point of spirit crystals is to get people to connect with the spirit in the crystal instead of just being like, okay, I need a stone for this. Like, I'm just going to grab the stone. Okay, stone, do this thing for me, and then forget about it. Instead, it's like, okay, I found this stone. What is this stone trying to teach me? Like, what? It's like a conversation. And yeah, it's for sure not for everybody, but the world is so much more fun if you go outside and you get to like talk to the trees. Like, even people who aren't witches, I did a silent retreat, and that person was Buddhist, and she's talked about how when she's having a bad day, she has a tree in her yard that she tells all her troubles to. And she just like goes over and is like, I'm having a bad day. And then she just tells the tree. And then she asks the tree to take it away from her. And then she goes back to her regular life. And so it's like a form of meditation, it's a form of spirituality. And it's fun. I think it's like, I don't know, like I always try to explain to people that like witchcraft is fun. And if it's not fun, then maybe you need to try it a different way. Like it should be fun and
It should
playful.
be fun.
Yeah. Yeah, it should be fun. You should feel happy after you do things. Like not always. Sometimes there's some really serious spell work or whatever, but it's fun to like see the world in a magical way, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So,
I have a garden at work, and I do a garden every year. And so when I go out to the garden and I'll see a new bloom, I'm like, oh, you're so beautiful. I'm like, look at you, you know. And the other houses that I work for a group home. There's 2 other houses in our area that are group homes. They have gardens as well, but mine is the only one that always prospers every year.
Yeah, it's all that extra love. Like I have this little cedar tree we got for free at an Earth Day fair, and it has grown so fast because we talk to it. Like my son and I, we are like, "Hey, Cedar, you're looking so tall today and you're growing so good." And he's been doing it since he's a little guy with me, and now it's like taller than I am and it's only a few years
wow.
old. But yeah, it's like I think gardeners know. Like if you really get out there and you garden, you talk to your plants, like you know the truth. Like you know that they're listening and they're seeing you back in some way.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. Crap, I had a question. You know, my ADHD brain's going really bad today, but I can't think of a question I had on top of my head. What is like one simple like ritual or meditation that you suggest for someone who's just getting into like the metaphysical or like the witchcraft realm of things? Like, what is something really simple for someone to do on a daily basis?
Yeah, I love that. So I think the easiest kind of spells or rituals, ooh, a little meow meow, is to do or to start with are candles. And you can you can use birthday candles, you can use little tea light candles. Like I get a lot of my candles from Dollar Tree. You don't need the big fancy beeswax expensive candles. Like
No,
a
no.
candle is a candle, right? And so something that
Right.
you just do is take a match and light your candle and just kind of gaze into the flame and like maybe speak something onto the flame if you want to, like not burning your lips, but like saying something like, I light this flame to release the whatever, or I light this flame and I give thanks for this, or I light this flame and I wish for this. And it's just so simple, but we are ritual beings. Like that's part of our
Yeah.
like reptilian
Yep.
brain. We like ritual, we like fire. And so those kinds of things like really help us just kind of have like a better day. I personally use sacred smoke every day. I grow mugwort in my yard, but you could do anything you want. Like rosemary's a good one. Like whatever you can find locally. Dry it out. I do a little sacred smoke. I call on the 4 elements. I offer the smoke to them and I thank them for being here. And like that's so simple, but it makes me feel really good. I feel like the energy in the home shifts. I feel like my energy shifts. And again, it's like, you can just use herbs from the store or whatever. It doesn't have to be like the fancy stuff.
Right. You don't have to go to your like expensive store and buy like cheap stuff works. It doesn't like you don't have to go out all big and mighty and
Right.
buy stuff. The cheapest stuff works too. There's a way to do it
Exactly.
on a budget. Definitely. I just probably won't say go on Temu or and get that stuff, but you
Yeah,
never
there's a
know.
lot of fake crystals on
Temu.
those websites, even Amazon. I've had people like, is this real? And then I'm like, I don't know, like let's look at it, and then it's plastic or it's glass, and that's a shame. So like if you can with crystals, especially if you can look in person or you read reviews, that's
Hmm.
really important because there's a lot of scammers, especially with crystals.
Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of people that sell the fake stuff, but once you find like a good store or like pagan crystal shop, you know that tech they should be selling the real stuff.
Yeah.
Uh, like go on Google and search your local crystal shop or your local herb shop, and you can usually find some good cheaper options as well.
Agreed.
So, what
Um,
is your favorite thing to do with witchcraft?
Just like in general.
Yeah.
I really like to work with the moons. So I hardly ever miss a new moon or a full moon. And not everybody celebrates both. So if you're like, what does that mean? The moon, we all know has phases, and which is particularly like the full moon, because the full moon is like a moment of power. The moon has reached its culmination. And so it can be like super simple. Like you can just go outside and like look at the full moon and be like, hey girl, what's up? Like, give me some of the energy. But I like making moon water. Everybody in our coven makes moon water, and they always have like a million different things they can do with it. And that's
Right.
really simple. You can just put a plastic bottle of water out under the moon. Doesn't have to be in a fancy bottle and all of that. And so that's like a fun idea. But yeah, I just like to celebrate the moon, and it can be as simple as just like journaling. Like, okay, oftentimes the full moon brings out a lot of feelings. Like, what am I feeling today? Like, what is this like last moon cycle? Like, I'll go back to the new moon and now to the full moon, and what happened? How am I feeling? And just kind of reflect. It's a good check-in
Right.
because there's 13 of them in the year, so it's like it gives you pause in the month to be like, what's going on.
Absolutely. Keep that journal and do a check-in with how you're feeling, what's going on. And you can do it with like pre-Mercury retrograde and post-Mercury retrograde as well.
Yeah, and right now we're in
Okay.
eclipse season. So we
Right.
had the first eclipse, which was in Leo on the new moon. This
Yep.
next one coming up is in Pisces. Now, after this one, we won't have another one in Pisces for like 18 years.
Oh,
So
wow.
you are going to probably feel like some kind of ending to something, either on that day or a week or two before, right? Or after. Sometimes the eclipse energy takes a while to settle, but you'll probably feel something because something started last year for you during that eclipse season. That's going to be coming to an end on like Thursday when that happens.
Speaking of
something
eclipses,
to end for me. I hope something's ending for me when that happens, because that will be amazing, because that will bring in a closure of something, and I can close and move on. Let's just hope the one thing I want to close will close for me.
so speaking of eclipses, how does the moon cut its hair?
How?
Eclipse it.
That's good. I'm going to tell that to my kids after.
You need to tell your kids that was
Yeah.
The reaction would be, what?
Yeah. That's how most of my jokes go anyway.
Yep,
So
all our jokes. Now I gotta tell that to River and see if she can figure it out. Be like, how does the moon clip his hair? That's
it's
great.
cute.
Okay, I gotta show you this one photo since we brought him up. Hold on. What is it?
Exciting.
What is it? Doesn't he look good for his age?
Yes. That's
Like,
crazy.
He's 95 years old. Like, holy shit.
Wow. What's his secret?
I think he does witchcraft
I want to
too.
know.
Yeah, I think he's a witch.
It's all those herbal remedies.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, when I saw him come up to his table, I was like, holy shit, he does not look 95. He looks good for his age. And somebody's like, he's 95? I'm like, yeah, according to Google, he's 95.
Yeah, he's looked the same my whole life.
Right?
How is that possible?
Witchcraft.
Yeah.
Like, okay, here's a question. How do you think, like, the Richie magical movies play a part in everyday life now that more people are watching these, like, let's say Practical Magic 2, Hocus Pocus? What effect do you think it has on, like, everyday people now? Like, is it helping get people more interested in, like, the metaphysical and the pagan and the witchcraft?
Yeah, actually, I talked to an editor. She's been like in the witch community for a long time, and she said that she thinks we're due for another wave of like interests, like high interest in the occult and witchcraft. And then I looked at like the upcoming movies. We have Practical Magic 2. We have that Disney movie. I think it's called Hexed.
Oh yeah, and then you have like the elemental one that Disney did a couple years ago about fire, earth, water, air.
Yeah. And so like if it's Disney, that's like the biggest, I feel like that's such a huge part of our culture. And if Disney's like, we're embracing witchcraft. Here's a whole movie about a witch. That
Right.
feels pretty significant to me. I love it because you know what? I love that people are interested in it because it's empowering. You know, a lot of
It
people
really
come
is.
from, yeah, they come from like religious trauma or no religion or like, you know, religion with a lot of weight and guilt. And then they come to witchcraft and it's like, oh, we're just like playing and doing what we want. It's like, yeah, that's what we're doing, making magic, you know? So
Hmm.
I think it's great. Whatever brings people over to our side is fine. But yeah, like there's a lot of truth in the movies. I know with Practical Magic, the first movie, they had a witch on set. They had a
Right.
witch on
Yep.
set for the craft. I interviewed someone recently who made some of the props for Hocus Pocus 2. She's an actual witch. So there's like a lot of reality in some of those, you know, movies. Like, of course, they change things so that you can't actually recite the spell and do something, but oh, how cool.
As we're talking about like all these movies, I got some pictures. Hold on. But yeah, I think the last big like gate opening was COVID, and now we're due for another one. Like during COVID, everyone was home researching like herbal, like things to feel better. Now we're kind of in needing for that next opening gate. I would say. Like
Yeah, I
maybe
think you're right on that for sure. Everyone is making sourdough too.
Yeah,
right.
especially because of the economy. Everything is so expensive. We're gonna have to go back to, learning how to do things without the help of, businesses.
Yeah, like that's what's great is like witchcraft is so adaptable. You can use things from the grocery store, from your yard, from a walk. Like, you know, I love after a storm, I always go out. Oh my gosh, I love that picture. After a storm, I always go out and just see like what has been dropped. Cause like a
Right.
really good wind and rainstorm, I'm gonna find like last year my birch tree like dropped a perfect broom. It was like a white birch handle with a bunch of branches, and I'm like,
Oh my
it
god,
was like a
yes.
ready-made broom. I was like, thanks. And then I like took it and added a bow and it was like a Halloween decoration. But yeah, we don't I'm all about that. Like it's become people are kind of sick of influencers and influencer
Right.
culture. We
Yep.
don't want to spend money on junk. We want to like make stuff again and find things and like go back to simpler times. So I agree with that.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. So where can people buy your books? Where can they listen to your podcast? The one that you do, and then the one with Granddaughter Crow.
Yeah, so my books you can find wherever you buy books. Both of them have an audiobook component. I'm really proud Divergent Witchcraft. It's a Simon and Schuster audiobook. So that was like
Ooh,
a really big deal for me. Because that's like, you know, a big time publisher. So
right.
yeah, so both of them, you know, wherever you buy books, both have an audiobook component, which I was really pushing, especially because of a neurodivergent audience. I like audiobooks, and that does count as reading, so everybody knows.
Yes, it does.
Um, yes, it does. And my website is jennycbell.com, and you can find everything there. My podcast is Cozy Coven Chats. The other one is Belief Being and Beyond. And they're everywhere you listen to podcasts and also on YouTube. I just started kind of getting on Substack. That's kind of a new game on there. It's kind of fun because there's no hashtags.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it feels kind of like more of a level playing field. So I'm
Right.
gonna be showing up on there more. It's a place where I can write longer articles and kind of see where that takes me. But my podcast is also on there.
Any future books coming down the pipeline?
Yeah, so I have a third book. Just turned it in to Wiser. We don't have a title because she didn't like the title, which was fair because it wasn't a good title. But basically, the gist of the book is you get to spend the year with me. So we're gonna go month by month and talk about things you can do that month to be in your witchiness, right? So a lot of times witches will say, okay, like great, now what do I do day to day? Like how do I live
Right.
the practice, or like what's the point? And so that's what I'm doing with that book. So it's like I take you through January. We have card readings for January and different recipes. I talk about the herbs and stones for January, and then there's all these spells and rituals, and then I do all the months. And I'm excited because I like books like that, and so I'm
Right.
like, I
Yeah.
want to write a book like that. Yeah.
I can't wait for that. You'll have to let me know when it comes out, and we'll have to get you back on.
Will
Heck
you
yeah.
be at any pop-up to sign books or anything?
No, I don't. No, I need to do that. That's the one thing I'm like, I do a lot online, and then I'm like, I really need to get out there. I did it my first witchy con this year, and so I'm like, okay, got to gear up and get some more. So, good question. You're making me feel like I should definitely get on that. So, good job. Thank you.
No,
Maybe
thank
maybe
you.
I'll get you out to Illinois next year, and you could come to one of the events that I run.
Yeah.
I know I saw all the
Yeah.
events you guys have going on. I was kind of like
Yes.
jealous. Like, dang, you have a lot going on.
So I think a witchy like witches and wellness, which you would fit more into.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be more. I think it like mid-September next year, but don't hold me to that yet. We're kind of working with the venue still, because we did it in July this year, and the students weren't on campus, but it was still a good event. But we wanted to be able to bring more people in, so we're thinking moving it to more like a fall date. Plus, it's more, witchy season.
Maybe.
For sure.
So I'm super excited for that. So I'll put your name down, and if we get the date and figure it out, I'll send you a message. But
And she could totally talk about her book.
It would
Yeah.
be fun.
That would be super fun.
If we could finally meet in person,
Right?
besides me coming out to California.
Yeah, we still need to do that too, though.
Yes, we need to take you on an investigation too.
That would be super fun. Yeah.
We'll have to figure that out. So, but thank you for coming on. I'm super excited to have you back on again. It's always a fun chat with you.
Yeah, this was a blast. I loved it.
Even though
Thank
we
you
went
for
off
having me on.
topic.
Yeah,
We
well,
went off
that's kind
topic.
of that's what makes it fun, right? It feels
Right?
more like we're just getting coffee and talking. I like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
I enjoyed talking to you too. It was
Thank
great.
you. Yeah, it was nice to meet you.
Yes. We'll have you back on when you bring out your new book, or maybe even before that, but we'll definitely keep in touch. And have a good night.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 So next weekend, I don't think we have a show. Hold on.
We don't have a show. What?
Wait, hold on. I gotta look. No, we do not have a show next weekend because I'll be out of town. Unless you want to do a show, you can find a guest and do one. And then we skip the following weekend because we were supposed to be on an investigation, but we aren't. Plus, it's a holiday weekend, and I'm not competing with holiday weekends. So if we don't have a show next weekend, we will be back on September 13th. Alicia and Derek will be talking with Jeremy Bouton, who is the common historian. He has a podcast out on Facebook. He is a paranormal investigator, researcher. He's really cool. And then we have our true crime roundtable on September 20th. And then we have our friend Rob Hogan on September 27th. He is a medium, psychic. He wants to talk about metaphysical and paranormal and how they collide. And then we're looking into October. Crazy.
And we are still looking for some guests to join our true crime roundtable as well.
Yes.
So if you're interested, reach out to Unturned Pages or Jenny.
And then we have a paranormal roundtable on November 1st that we're looking for people for. So if you're interested, message the page and we'll get you on. But we will see you back September 13th. I will be at Penhurst, so it'll be just Alicia and Derek, but I will see you the following weekend. I will be at Penhurst. I will not be online. Plus, there's no there's no good reception at Penhurst, so I'm okay with that. Chipping in. But y'all have a good weekend, good week, and maybe we'll pop on next week with a special guest. Who knows? And then we'll be back the 13th of September. That's crazy. It's already almost September. Crazy.
Stay spooky.
Stay spooky. Have a good night, everyone.